Hey guys, my name's Tony. I've recently jumped into the world of FPV, and I've been in it about a year. And when I started with the walk nail system and a Vision 40 setup with the 1S HD system. This was such a cool experience. As you can see, this thing is dirty. I've probably resoldered every motor wire back on this thing. I've replaced the VTX several times. This thing cannot get wet at all, or that just fries. Maybe it was overheating. I don't know, but I've been with this VTX for a while, and I just make sure I don't fly it anywhere where it's damp or moist. I've replaced this plug cable many times. And the camera holder, like, I beat this thing to death, but it still flies. I'm gonna fly it today probably. But what I want to talk about today is digital versus analog, because I didn't start with analog. I started with digital walks now. Actually, this came with a kit, and I got these, and these are great. I only upgraded to these because they were newer and better with the HDMI input in HDMI inlet, and I don't even use it, but these are cool. These fit better, but no, they're nice. Whatever. This has AV in too. This doesn't have an analog input, so I do use these. And with the new I got these upgraded antennas. This thing performs awesomely. I got the same sort of setup without the long minis, but this right here, I mean, this gives me plenty of range. But today I'm talking about analog, because this is a speedybee adapter with a custom printed box, and with some omnis on it. And I am so glad before I use these that I bought some Skyzone X4 04X V2. I bought those off a guy on Facebook Marketplace while I was waiting for a box and some other stuff for this. And so I experienced analog with the 04Xs first before I used this. And I'm very glad I did, because this system right here, however it's functional, it does work. And I'm flying it today with my Air 65, which is a sick little thing. But I got analog because I wanted to fly a tinier whoop. So this is 75. This is about as small as I can get without getting into a DJI. And then this right here is a 65. So that's technically a 75. This is a 65 with maybe 30 millimeter plop. Yeah, those are 40, and I think these are 30. But I wanted to fly inside, and that is a little bit too big for me. And then this one right here is small, it's light, and surprisingly, from like me being digital and thinking it's better, I can fly this thing. I'm sitting in my garage. I can fly it to the edges of my property, around houses, whatever, through trees, and the signal is great. Because analog literally diminishes and not just breaks up, and like it's a totally different experience. But what I'm saying is, I'm so glad I started my analog experience with the 04Xs versus this setup, because this setup, it works, but it barely works. Like, it's bare minimum. It's bare minimum. Because then there's no DVR, there's no way to edit or change like your contrast or saturation or anything like that. And the only reason I even care to do that is because for some reason there's a flaw in this system where, like, 1 out of 3 times you power it on. So either you're powering the VTX on that, or you boot this up, the remote or the goggles. It'll either white it out or it'll be too dark, and even mid-flight it'll start getting brighter and brighter and brighter, and then it'll just flash like white and you can't even see. I'm very glad I didn't just do this and then sign off on analog altogether, because I sold those 04X V2s and then to upgrade to the 04X Pros because they have a better resolution screen, which only matters because I might add digital back into that with HT0 or something. I'm not sure. I just wanted a dedicated analog goggle, and those seem to be the go-tos. And the 04Xs had quadversity, which I didn't really get a whole lot out of, and I don't plan on flying. I don't know. Really, it's the 04X Pros. I literally only upgraded because I listed the 04Xs on eBay for just to sell them, and then while I was selling them, I kind of started liking them, and then I was like, all right, well, I already sold them. They bought it, and I was like, all right, well, I'll ship those, and then immediately purchased the 04X Pros for a dedicated analog goggle because this works. I'm not gonna say it doesn't work. And I've got it set up pretty cool. This is a little hook it hooks on the strap. And it's not that big of a deal. It's a lightweight package. It's not a big deal. But people complain about these wires, whatever. It's like two more wires. It's not a big deal. And it fits on the side of my head. It's over there. Boom, boom. I can hit the buttons, whatever. But I'm just saying, if you're in digital and you're thinking about analog, and you do this system, don't assume that's what analog is. On the 04Xs, I could adjust contrast. I could adjust a lot of things, actually. On this system, you can't really adjust anything. You can calibrate the VTX with the speedybee module, and that's about it. And I want DVR. I bought RunCam Mini FPV DVR, and that was going to be an additional add-on to that setup so that I could record. It's a hassle. That works, and there may be occasions where I don't take both goggles and I just take that, or I might just start taking the skyzone because those things fit great, and I'll just buy a Walksnail VRX to add to those and get all the benefits of Walksnail plus an analog dedicated goggle. They're on the way, so I can't wait to get those. It sounds like I'm just blowing money on stuff that I don't know what, but this is the hobby. You're gonna spend money, and when I get those, I could sell the Goggles X and just primarily use the Skyzone 04X Pros with a Walksnail VRX unit and theoretically get the same. The only thing, they only have two antennas, so I'm not sure if the distance or signal quality would be the same. But as far as screen resolution and frame rate, it's supposed to be comparable, or if not the same. So that's exciting. But I just wanted to say, hey, if you're jumping in analog and that's your first experience, get some cheap box goggles or something else to at least try analog out for real, because the latency, the linear degradation, meaning with a digital system, you fly behind some trees or a building or something, you'll start losing frames. It'll get choppy, and then it'll just cut, and then you're lost. But with analog, it just gets more and more fuzzy, and then the color goes away, and then you still got black and white, and your frame rates basically stay the same. It's a whole different ball game. Plus, the freaking tiny whoops, man. Or I guess I can't say that. The small whoops, man. These are so much fun. This little thing is a blast. I wish I had DVR. I could show you, but I cruise around my house, and it's so much fun. It almost, honestly, the wind. So this is the only reason I got this for indoors. Well, it's for the size and whatnot. And I didn't plan on flying this outdoors because I have this. But I can fly this farther than I can fly this with the goggles, which is wild because just the computer components that make that happen. This is a 5-in-1 board, and it has the VTX built in. It has everything built in. It has the ELRS, VTX, the ECU, flight controller. Everything is in this one little chip, which is fascinating to me. Which makes this thing, I think it's 42 grams with the battery. It's crazy. But yeah, if this is your first experience with analog, do not totally discredit analog based on this experience, and which could have happened to me if I experienced analog first in that system and then didn't ever get an analog dedicated goggle. So in the future, I expect to make videos flying more stuff. This is my first video just because I think this is an important thing to say. Yeah, I mean, this is a raw bones video. So this is my phone. I'm just setting it up because I'm like, hey, this is cool. This needs to be known. Analog's pretty sick. I have all of that is walk snail. This is my only non-walk snail drone. It's analog, and I will be building more analog drones, which is crazy because I've got a bunch of walk snail HD units over here. I got a bunch of pro kits that I'll probably be passing up for an analog build on my next probably 5-inch. Yeah, well, stay tuned, I guess, or subscribe or whatnot. I don't care. But if you do decide to try out analog, get some dedicated goggles, because that's not it.